Welcome back. I'm glad you're still with me to explore the fascinating world of BPMN. Today, we're going to dive into one of the most exciting and useful elements of process modeling, the gateways. You may remember that we've already briefly touched on the exclusive gateway, a key element that helps guide decisions within our process. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. In this section, you'll see that gateways are far more than simple either-or branches. They allow us to increase the dynamics and flexibility of our processes by opening up different paths based on specific conditions. We will not only take a closer look at the already well-known exclusive gateway, but also explore other types such as the inclusive, the parallel, and the complex gateway. We will also look at a special form, the event-based gateways. Each has its own role and application to make our processes more efficient and adaptable. I'll show you how to use the different gateways in our process models to create clear, logical decision structures that show exactly how and when tasks are executed. Through practical examples, you will quickly learn to select the right gateway for the specific requirements of your process. So let's open the door to more effective and efficient process models together. See you in the next chapter. And here we are again. I know we have already briefly discussed the exclusive gateway, but I'd like to reiterate it here and perhaps go into a little more depth. Besides, a section on gateways simply wouldn't be complete without the exclusive gateway. The exclusive gateway is also known as XOR gateway. It plays a central role in BPMN. It is a hub for decisions within the process. Imagine you are at a crossroads and can only take one path. This is exactly what the exclusive gateway does in our process models. It allows the process flow to branch out based on a condition so that only one path is selected from the puzzle paths at any one time. In other words, an either-or decision is always made at the exclusive gateway. How is it used? The exclusive gateway is used to model decisions in which only one path is continued due to the evaluation of an expression or a condition. A classic example of this would be checking whether a sales order exceeds a certain value. Depending on the result, different processes can be triggered. Perhaps a larger order requires additional approval, while smaller orders are processed directly. When you're modeling an exclusive gateway in our BPMN diagram, you represent it with a diamond symbol with an X in the middle. By the way, the X is not mandatory. In some BPMN applications, the X is missing and you only see the empty diamond. In these cases, the exclusive gateway is also meant. Several outgoing sequence flows lead from this gateway to different parts of the process, whereby each flow is assigned to a condition. It is important that these conditions are designed in such a way that exactly one path is selected as a result of the decision. But so that this chapter is not just a repetition with a little more insight for you, I have something special for you. Take a look at the condition at the gateway and briefly consider which case is not represented by this gateway. The token could not continue to run if the order value is not clear. Is it over 100K or under 100K? BPMN has a so-called default path for this, the standard path. What is it? Although one of the conditions should usually be fulfilled, it is also possible to define a default path. This is chosen if none of the specific conditions apply, which provides a kind of safety net to ensure that the process flow always continues. This is because if no condition is met and no default path is defined, the token remains stuck in the gateway, as it is not defined which path the token should now take. The default path is modeled with a slanted line on the sequence flow. As convenient as the default path is, be careful when using it. Only use it if there is really no other way. What we also see in this diagram is again our merging gateway. After an exclusive gateway has split the flow into different directions based on the conditions, you can use another exclusive gateway to merge the path again. But you may remember that is not strictly necessary. But have a quick look at the process. Is it well modeled, and is the merging gateway in the right place? The answer is no, because the execute order task is now redundant in both paths. This is not necessarily bad, but very inelegant. But of course, we can also model it differently. I would to do it like this, for example. The merging gateway moves to the left and the execute order task moves behind the gateway, as it is identical for both paths. I have another example for you where a merging gateway is not useful. This is when the path separated by the gateway runs through different end events because, as in this case, the end result of the process is different. If the approval is granted, the process takes the path to the successful completion of the order, and if not, the order is cancelled. The final status of the process is therefore fundamentally different. A few final and hopefully important words about exclusive gateways to help you avoid the typical pitfalls. First, make sure that the conditions you define are mutually exclusive and complete. This means that exactly one condition should be true in every possible scenario. Sounds trivial, but I see it all the time. Unfortunately, sometimes I do too. Secondly, use the aforementioned default path carefully to prevent processes from stalling because no condition is met. Before you use the default path as the quickest and easiest solution, think about whether the conditions could be designed more cleverly. And thirdly, while the exclusive gateway is great for simple decisions, for more complex decision structures, it may make sense to look at other gateway types or combine multiple gateways in a sensible way. Please don't build exclusive gateways with dozens of outbound paths. That's it for the exclusive gateway, one of the simplest but basic tools in our BPMN toolbox. And now, on to the next gateway. Gateway we want to look at can make a massive contribution to the efficiency of business processes by enabling the process flow to be parallelized. In other words, exactly what the exclusive gateway cannot do. For this reason, this gateway is called, who would have expected it, parallel gateway. It allows you to control the simultaneous execution of different process paths. In contrast to the exclusive gateway, which makes decisions and directs the process flow to one of several possible paths based on specific conditions, the parallel gateway enables several paths to be processed simultaneously. Think of the parallel gateway as an intersection where several roads can be traveled at the same time. When your process reaches a parallel gateway, it splits into several independent paths that can be executed simultaneously. This also creates multiple process tokens. This is particularly useful when different tasks can be processed independently and without interfering with each other. For example, when different departments of a company need to process different parts of a project at the same time. While the exclusive gateway allows a choice between different paths based on specific conditions, with only one path being selected, the parallel gateway allows all its outgoing paths to be activated simultaneously. There is no condition to evaluate. All paths are always executed. This means that if your process logic requires multiple tasks to take place in parallel, the parallel gateway should be your choice. It is not only to split, but also to merge parallel paths. After all parallel paths has been completed, they can be merged again at a subsequent parallel gateway to continue the process progress. This ensures that all parallel tasks are completed before the process continues. Merging is a critical step to ensure that no task is left unfinished and the overall process continues in a synchronized manner. And again, because it is so crucial. When you split the process flow through the parallel gateway and merge it back together, no matter how different the turnaround time of the individual paths are, the token does not leave the merging gateway until all tasks of the parallel path has been completed and all tokens have arrived back at the merging gateway. As you can see here, this gateway is represented by a diamond with a plus sign in the middle to indicate the parallel nature. To merge parallel paths, you again use a parallel gateway which serves as a synchronization point where all parallel paths converge before the process continues. When using parallel gateways, it's absolutely essential to plan carefully to ensure that all paths are properly merged before the process continues. A careful review of the process design is crucial to avoid deadlocks or incomplete paths that can block the progress of the overall process. What are deadlocks in the process and what makes them so risky? Deadlocks in a process modeling refer to a situation where two or more process paths are blocked in such a way that none of them can continue without the interaction of another path. This leads to a standstill in the process as none of the paths involved can progress. Deadlocks often occur when parallel processes are modeled. But the parallelization is precisely the strength of the parallel gateway. Parallelization in business processes play a decisive role in increasing the efficiency of company processes. One of the main advantages of parallelization is a significant reduction of throughput times. By the way, throughput time is the total time required from the start to the completion of a process or task. By running tasks in parallel that are independent of each other, companies can significantly reduce the time it takes for a product or service to reach the market or customer. So, parallel gateways offer a flexible way to design processes that require the simultaneous execution of multiple tasks. They complement the exclusive gateway by providing a different type of process control that is essential for modeling complex business workflows. By understanding the differences and using both gateway types correctly, you can create robust, efficient, and clearly understandable BPMN models. That's it for the parallel gateway. See you in the next chapter.